nation. No donation, no salvation.
And remember, respect is everything.
Okay, we're back. So I decided to do, so this is the old kit car I got from this event called the Lone Star Roundup. I did a whole video on it. I said I wasn't going to restore it, but I decided, since it's already beat to crap and it's missing all of its paint, I decided to go ahead and I'm going to try and restore this to the best of my ability. I do need to find a spoiler for it, but I'm sure I can think of something. What I am going to do is, I'm definitely going to paint it, so I'm going to lose the Night 2000 decals on the side and probably that scanner, but like I said, I've already drilled the car apart ahead of time, so let's go ahead and get my tripod. Okay, for the sake of simplicity, the car's already been drilled apart. Please, when you're drilling apart Hot Wheels, one, please make sure you know how to use your tools correctly. Make sure you're old enough to operate power tools, and also make sure to do this on a surface that you're not afraid to damage. In this case, I'm using this plastic container to catch all these shavings, but yeah, so I have the car drilled apart. I'm also going to assess any just any oxidation that might be just things to look out for. I might actually might leave the interior alone, even though it should be beige. That sticker looks like it might be salvageable, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to try my best to clean these windows, but again, I don't want to have to use any harsh chemicals, so I think just some soap and some water should do the trick. If I can just pop them out. Ooh, it's going to be a tough one. So we're probably going to have to drill that out. I'm going to do this off camera because I don't want to damage this any more than I need to. So we got the base as cleaned up as best as I could. I just ran it under some hot water with some dish soap. And it cleaned up alright. The glass, like I said, I didn't want to use any chemicals of any kind, and there's a little bit of water on one end. So I just, again, same thing, just some dish soap and some warm water, and those pretty much turned out as best as they're going to get. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but I don't want to risk using any kind of harsh chemicals, especially on a toy this old. So for now, this is just the best I have to work with. But so far, things are going smoothly. I'm probably, let's see. I was going to sand this, but I mean, honestly, I probably should sand it, or at least, strip all this old paint off of it. But anyway, we'll come back when this is ready for paint. Okay, so I've already begun sanding the car and prepping it for paint. I still got a little ways to go, but hopefully by then we'll be ready to get the car painted. But first, before I do any of that, I want to get the spoiler glued on, since it's going to be flush with the car anyway. I was able to find a donor car for a spoiler, so we'll come back when that's all, nice and dandy and glued on. Good news, we were able to salvage the original wheels. I just sanded the axles down and cleaned them up and removed any oxidation that could have gotten stuck to the actual metal part. The rims, I will have to repaint the little silver trim, but that's the least of my concerns. And honestly, I may just leave it the way it is, because there's still plenty of the original silver trim on there. So these, I might just leave them alone and just leave them as cleaned up. So we're gonna put those there. The interior is pretty much dry, and then I've cleaned up the glass as best as I could. Like I said, I didn't want to use any harsh chemicals, so I may put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on there, see if I can get some of that grime off. But other than that, interior is more or less done. And then the actual seats and all that, I didn't really need to clean it up. I just took a damp rag, tried to avoid the stickers, and then I'm probably just going to put that back in the car the way it is. There's really not much else to do with this, since it's in decent shape already. So we'll come back, and we'll probably be outside getting ready to put on the actual paint itself. Okay, so we are in the backyard. I put on a flat black primer to start with, and then it's been drying out here for a few minutes now while I was working on the wheels and other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the gloss black now, and then we'll come back when it's applied, and then hopefully by the end of the video, it'll be all dry. Oh, damn dog keeps digging holes here. Anyway, we got a nice coat of gloss black, so we're gonna come back in like maybe an hour and a half. I like to let these things settle real good, so yeah. So we'll come back in a little while when that's dry, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll get to the reassembly of the car. So I'm gonna work on that in the meantime while I wait for this to dry. While I was waiting for the paint to dry, I decided to work on the wheels a little more, kind of restore some of that little trim it has, the kind of chrome trim that a lot of old Pontiac Firebirds had. A good example is because the original kit car had bowling ball hubcaps like this one, but as you can see, I'm working on other projects while I'm working on that one, but this is just a normal Firebird Hot Wheels car that just happens to be black, and I'm just letting it dry. But I do have another kit car, and I'll explain what that one's for when the other one is fully built and ready to go. Just in the meantime, it's also drying. But yep, also working on the base a little more, just cleaning it up, just, you know, sanding off any, like, you know, residue or oxidation that may have been on the car before I washed it, or I mean after I washed it. I mean, just took some Q-tips and some alcohol and just a number of other things to get the car cleaned up. But yeah, it'll be all nice and dandy when it's all put together. And then I also took some alcohol to the glass. Didn't really help much. In fact, I mean, it looks about the same. I'm gonna go outside and check on the body, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to use any harsh chemicals on this, and I think the glass will be fine. It's just plastic. It's just gonna look a little tainted, but I mean, it's an old car. I kind of want it to look that way. And there's the interior. So yeah, we'll get all that put together, and then we'll check on the body. Okay, so we're back outside. It seems the paint is doing fine. It's probably dry now because, I mean, it's like 1,000,000 degrees out here, but just to be safe, I'm going to leave it here another 30 to 45 minutes to, you know, just properly dry, and then I think we should be good to reassemble the car. Okay, so while the paint's drying, I'm also working on the interior because I decided to go ahead and try and paint it anyway. I'm only painting the seats and anything that's not connected to the dashboard, because the actual car in the TV show had a black dashboard, just everything else was tan. I'll be honest, I just used a gold Sharpie because I didn't want to spend too much time on this, and I wanted to be as careful as possible. Since it's going to be inside the car, it's not going to see any real, if much, abuse at all. So, yeah, and plus gold was the only color I could find closest to tan, because this is black plastic, and because it's metallic, it'll show up a lot better. And once it's in the car, it should look fine. So hopefully when we come back, the car will be dry, at least the main body, and then we can put it all back together. So, yeah. Yep, so here's the finished car, and you know, not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with it. So obviously there's a few imperfections, mostly in the paint, but it's only on the sides, and honestly, they kind of gave the car this effect that I didn't think I would actually like. But anyway, yeah, I got some 80s vaporwave in the background, just because, why not? Thought it seemed fitting for an 80s car, so I guess we can take a closer look at it. Yeah, this is normally not my normal review setup. I normally do my reviews where the palm trees are with the Lego City in the background, but I figured this seemed a little more important, so give this something special. But yeah, before you ask where I got that license plate, I actually salvaged that off of another Knight Rider toy car, a more recent one. So no surprise, I did car. Granted, I did a very unorthodox method of making car. As you can see, I basically just scraped all the paint off where he would have had the two-tone. I also broke off the T-tops to kind of give it that open look, just because, don't know why, I just liked it. But yeah, that was his original license plate, because this was actually a kit car, and I just took an X-Acto knife. I just took a knife like this one, and I just scraped it off and then glued the base back on, and then made this into car. But you know, here's the the Universal Studios kit and next to the Hot Wheels kit. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. You know, I mean, obviously it's not perfect because if we want to get real picky, I mean, if you look closely, the sides are very flat compared to the top of the car, which is very glossy. But for my first, I guess, restoration of a toy car, let alone one as old as this, not the worst thing in the world. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I even painted the little fog lights in the front. If I get the autofocus to work with me. Yeah, now that's a cool looking image right there. Kit with the vaporwave. So here, let's get the full effect. Well, that'll make an interesting thumbnail. You all have a good one.
Hallelujah! Another soul saved!